years or so. It was the right time for the musical to thrive, as audiences wanted to immerse themselves in Technicolor song and dance, escaping the grim realities of World War II and the age of anxiety that followed. And MGM brought together some of the greatest talents in the history of the musical. One of these was Stanley Donen, another name, sadly, on 2019's Musical Roll of Honour. And I apologise that this presentation is starting to sound like an obituary column. It was not a good year in 2019. Donen was just 25 when he co-directed On the Town. And watching it today, it feels like a sea change in the story of the MGM musical. It's full of joyful verve and youthful energy. Donen's co-director on The Town, and of course on Singing in the Rain, was without doubt the most multifaceted talent at MGM. Director, choreographer, dancer, actor, and singer, the great Gene Kelly. I'm delighted that we have somebody with us this evening who knows more about Gene Kelly's life and work than anyone else, and she works ceaselessly to keep his legacy alive. To slightly misquote Jane Eyre, audience, she married him. Please will you welcome Patricia Ward Kelly.
So, Clark may not know this, but the one role that Gene really wanted, that he actually went to New York to beg for, was to play Sky Masterson in Guys and Dolls. And unfortunately, MGM and Samuel Goldwyn were having a spat, and so they refused to loan Gene out, so you got Marlon Brando instead of Gene Kelly for that. Now, a lot of people don't realize this, but Gene wanted to be known more for being behind the camera than in front of it. In fact, he really didn't care about performing, but for some reason MGM liked him in front of that camera. But he wanted to be known for changing the look of dance on film as a choreographer and a director, so I'm delighted that Robin chose so many films that really feature Gene as a choreographer and director, not only Sing in the Rain, but the groundbreaking On the Town, the revolutionary ballet in American in Paris, and Hello, Dolly, which a lot of people forget that Gene directed. They remember the battles between Barbra Streisand and Walter Matthau. And I hope maybe I get to introduce that one to explain that it was actually Walter Matthau that was the problem, not Barbra Streisand. Gene said that every time Barbara would turn her hat and the feathers would go in Walter Matthau's face, Walter was convinced that she was trying to steal his scenes. So, in fact, she was just such a novice that she really didn't know how to perform in front of the camera as well. So, I'm also very, very happy that they decided to bring my one-woman show about Gene Kelly, The Legacy, that's been touring around the world the last 7 years. And as some of you may know, unlike all of you, I'm one of the rare people in the world who met Gene, but I didn't know who he was when I met him. He ended up bringing me out to California to write his memoir and then married me 5 years into the process. Took him 5 years. And I ended up recording him nearly every day for over 10 years. And it's those recordings that form the spine of this show. I describe it as kind of a Disney e-ticket that you get in a little boat with me, and I take you on this journey into Gene's heart and mind. It's a very intimate look at this man. A lot of people, I speak in a lot of schools, and kids will always ask me, they'll always say, well, was he romantic? And for me, Gene was the epitome of romance. He used to sing to me at night. That was one of the ways that he would reveal some of the things that were closest to the bone for him was through American popular song. And he was like a little kid for things like Valentine's Day and birthdays, and he used to, the minute it turned midnight, I would find little valentines sprinkled all around the house, and all of these things are incorporated in this evening that I will be bringing to you. And we have a little clip tonight, but I wanted to give you a little bit of an idea of it. It's kind of a teaser, and it's one of Gene's favorite pieces of film. In fact, the solo that you're going to see in it, Gene described it to me. He said, it is the best dancing that I ever did on film. And it also brings Gene and a beautiful woman by the name of Sid Charisse together. And as many of you know, this was really the first time that she danced this type of jazz. She was a classically trained ballet dancer and had really not gotten off point. Jean said it was very difficult to get her off point, but once she did, she mastered this. Now, Jean modeled her character after a crush that he had as a little boy. It was on Louise Brooks, so you get the black bobbed hair and the green flapper dress. Now, Jean told me that he used to always torment the censors. They had all the Breen office and everything. They would send a woman in to measure the hemline, the décolletage, and Jean would let the woman do all of that, and then she would leave, and then Jean would slit the skirt up so that you could get, you cannot hide Ceris's leg. You have to have that magnificent extension. So I hope all of you will join me in October for the 25th for the One Woman Show, and I greet everybody before and after, so please be sure to say hello, and I'll be introducing Sing in the Rain and On the Town also, and maybe if they'll let me come back, I can do American in Paris and a couple others. So thank you so much, and pay attention to those first 18 bars of Jean on this film.